Hey guys, the full patch 6.2 notes are finally out, and what that means is that now we get job changes. If you're looking for any of the other stuff to do with the patch, I already have covered that in a different video that I'm going to keep in the description and the pinned comment. But some of these changes are actually huge. But what the developers are also doing is they're also trying to give explanations for why they did the changes. So I'm going to go over the change, my thoughts, and then go over the developer stuff, and timestamps are going to be in the description below. Some of these, like the Sage change, make me very, very happy. The first change is for the tank role as a whole, which is going to be the provoke action. And so provoke, how it would previously work would be if you had you and a co-tank on a boss, your co-tank, who's actually main tanking it right now, has 9,000 enmity on the target. Then you use provoke, it would put you at 9,001 enmity. And so when it says enmity generation has increased, it means that it's going to put you a slight bit even further above that, which is going to reduce the need for something like the shirk ability, which I gotta say is a very important ability. At least current meta is very important to use. Now the developer's explanation was the adjustments to the tank role was made to ensure that tanks can safely maintain enmity when tank swapping in any given encounter. I think that this is a welcome change. Some people are going to see you're dumbing down tanks even further. I personally have played tank enough that I am so looking forward to doing this. I don't need to depend on them to shirk me and turn off stance. Like, I just see this as a net gain. Next on the list is Paladin, and we are seeing huge DPS gains for them. Remember that they go into their Requiescat scat and then they do their confetti combo for Holy Spear's Blade of Faith, Truth and Valor. You know that's awesome, but it's getting a DPS buff on Holy Spirit by 10 potency, which doesn't seem like much, but remember you're spamming it every minute. Then Blade of Faith, you're getting a hearty 40 potency boost. You're getting a 40 potency boost as well to Truth and Valor. This is overall going to definitely push the Paladin into being more competitive in the DPS sense. And in terms of the changes, even Warrior's getting buffs, and Maim is going to be their 1, 2, 3, their 2, and so their 2 is getting an extra 20 potency onto it, and then their 3s, which is going to be either Storm's Path or Storm's Eye, is also getting a 10 potency increase. And remember, you're going to be doing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 effectively, and so that is actually going to be a very cumulative net effect for a buff. And a nice quality of life change is Shake It Off previously had a little bit of a delay. They have shrinked that delay. Now first up, let me say about Gunbreaker is they had a huge quality of life change. Previously, their like continuation abilities, which is what you see here, Jugular Rip, Abdomen Tear, Eye Gouge, Hypervelocity, all lovely names, right? Those now have their range increased to 5 yalms. I'm trying so hard to not say yard because people have read me in the comments for that before, but that is going to be a huge quality of life change. Just giving them that extra range, I feel this so strongly is a huge good change. Now what will seem like a nerf definitely on the face value is Bloodfest has its recast time changed from 90 to 120 seconds. This is likely to bring them more into alignment. It's because currently all the jobs are on 120-second burst cycles, and you can even see that in the dev comment that that was their intention with it, and just increasing the timer would weaken the job, as they say, so they were doing a bunch of buffs to a bunch of other skills. So that's why we're seeing Faded Circle get buffed, you're seeing Blasting Zone getting buffed, you're seeing Brutal Shell even being buffed. So overall, it's just to make Gunbreaker a more streamlined, smooth experience, which I for one think is great. Keeping that 90-second timer with weird intervals was a little janky. Now for Dragoons, I am not going to comment on this one, but what they have done is jump and high jump is the level 90 version of the skill, is high jump or jump used to be replaced after you used it with the skill Mirage Dive, and so it was like something to reduce button bloat, and so now they have separated jump from Mirage Dive. I'm not commenting. I'm personally not the biggest fan of this because I hate button bloat and I had never had a problem with it, but I guess a lot of people did, so yeah. You guys are going to need to let me know, the actual Dragoon mains, what you think in the comments, because I do not main Dragoon. I love Dragoon. I have played it. I have 7 reasons to play it, but I don't know about this change. Right now, if you look at any data source, Samurai's doing really, really well, but we are seeing a ton of buffs to the AoE of Samurai coming here, and we are seeing Tenkagoten being increased by 20 potency up to 300. We're seeing Hisatsu Kyuten increased by 10 potency. Now, Hisatsu Guren, don't be confused by the word reduction. What it means is that in AoE they used to have a 50% to extra targets penalty. This is now reduced to 25% penalty, which means that you are doing that extra damage to this AoE targets. And then Keishi Goten is also being increased by 20 potency. Overall, a lot of damage buffs for Samurai's AoE. Now, at the start of the expansion, Reaper was absolutely dominating the charge, but they did fall a little bit behind the other people, and so we are seeing Slice, Waxing Slice, and Infernal Slice all having potency increases. We're looking at Waxing Slice being increased by 20, as well as Slice by 20, and then Infernal Slice increased by a whopping 40. So this is going to be one of those death by 1,000 cuts kind of buff, where you just see the effect compound so much. Now for the Machinist, this is at face value going to be a little bit trickier to calculate, but overall I do believe that this is going to definitely be a net buff, and so I'm only going to be focused on the Automaton Queen here because the Rook Auto turret evolves into that. And so we have the duration used to be extended by the more battery gauge you had, which obviously resulted in more DPS, but the trick is now it's been compressed into a 12-second window, fixed 12-second window. But what they did was now they put all of those different buffs, the overall damage, into this smaller time window, and so likely this is going to fit in better with buffs. This is going to definitely respond to buffs much better, I believe, and so overall I think that this will work out really well in terms of the Machinist, in terms of its favor. For the White Mage, it's a simple change. That Liturgy of the Bell was extended in duration from 15 to 20 seconds. Remember, you can activate Liturgy of the Bell a second time to get that AoE burst of healing. My boyfriend's used it plenty of times. It is a beautiful skill, but now you have a little bit more of that wiggle room because now you can optionally proc it, and so definitely we are seeing a lot of good things with this. I think that the extended duration just allows it to be a bit more flexible. I, for one, welcome it. For the Scholar, I want to say meh to the changes because it's basically you don't generate enmity from your pet actions. Okay, that's sweet. That is in conjunction with the other changes saying that heal over time effects no longer generate enmity, whatever. But I say whatever, but I then think in the back of my mind, oh, we have the Criterion and Variant dungeons coming, so that's probably more what they're leaning into here with the giant pull pack aggro management. But overall, this is going to literally not change your gameplay at all. For Astrologian, redraw used to be able to give you the same horrible sign, which always sucked because it's like sun sign, sun sign, sun sign. Dang it, give me a moon. Now that's not going to be a problem because you can't get the same sign as you previously had when you use the action. I think that's great. And then we're seeing Minor Arcana also get a huge quality of life change where it's actually going to have the Minor Arcana skill change into the Drawn Arcanum, so you don't need to use Crown Play. That's great. Reduced button bloat. This is the exact reason why I look at the Dragoon and I'm like, but why? So that's why I'm not commenting, because I'm not a Dragoon main, but I've never had a problem with it. But for me, as someone who does play Ast, this is great. Now finally, for Sage, which I am so happy, well, not with the card you change, but with the Holos change. And so Holos is our big 1/22, kind of like sister skill to Scholar's Expedient, and it gave a 20% damage reduction as well as a small heal with it. But now that heal is also going to, which is a 300 potency heal for the record, is also going to apply a barrier equivalent to the heal. This is actually huge in terms of the utility. I want to fangirl over this so bad. This is going to let the Sage really compete with the massive barrier production that a Scholar can do, obviously with recitation deployment tactics. But remember, Sage also has Zoe, which they can also spread across the party. Like, this is great. This is great. This also kind of feeds into my own mental model of Sage, where it's like Panheim. Okay, it's not one big barrier, but it's like a ton of little barriers spread out that's very good for successive damage. I think Sage will definitely be really, really good when it comes to combating successive larger AoEs. Sage is being fit into a niche, and I absolutely love it. Fangirling ends here. I think this might actually make Sage much more flexible than Scholar in this regard. I like this. I like this a lot. Okay, I swear I'm shutting up. Anyhow, what do you guys think about the job changes? Let me know in the comments. Obviously, I'm gonna fangirl for the next hour or so. Then we're gonna get into game and fangirl even more. That Holos change is huge. Anyhow, take care everyone. Have a great day.